what's up, y'all? I'm CJ. I'm a new adjudicator for the rap freestyle category. And what I got for y'all today is a little rap about how much family means to me, and how much they've had my back growing up and even to this day. So, very thankful for family. It's super important. Hope y'all enjoy it. So, respect. Look, CJ Capital, by the way. See, I do it for the family, y'all don't really understand me. Look, see, I do it for the family, y'all don't really understand me. Look, they the ones that got my back, and I'm proud that we black. They the ones that got my back, and I'm proud that we black. They give me tunnel vision from the television. They can keep me focused even when I'm missing. I've been reminiscing on the past days, get me right up to class days. Peace, love, and loyalty, that's what they give to me, yeah. Peace, love, and loyalty, that's what they give to me. Family never hate, eat the love off the plate. Rice and beans on my plate, ooh, I'm eating good today. You can see it on my face, shout out to the family, yeah. Shout out to the family, hey, let's get it.
Hi everybody, I'm Anthony Rosesco, and this is Mom, Marianne Rosesco, and we're going to play you some old-time fiddle. So across the country there's fiddling styles on all different corners, but one thing that keeps us all a family together is the music of Don Messer. So here's some Don Messer tunes. The first is Shannon Waltz, then Don Messer's Breakdown, then Mother's Reel. So here goes.
Hi, I'm Peter Maraja. I'm here with Barbara Collier, and we're going to talk about the Stratford Festival of the Performing Arts. Barbara, thank you so much for joining me.
Welcome, Peter.
Barbara, your history comes with your family history, and I think it was called the Stratford Music Festival. So just give us a bit of a background on that.
Well, my father emigrated from England in 1923, came to Windsor, and then a few years later came to Stratford, and he competed in the Stratford Music Festival for several years, along with many other local people. And then when I was 10 years old, I went to the festival for the first time, and my father had trained me. He was a very good singer, actually, and took part in a lot of musical productions that went on in Stratford, especially during the Depression, when people had time. And he was always the tenor soloist. And so he undertook my vocal training to a certain point, and at 10 years old, I sang for the first time at the festival.
So if you can remember that, growing up in a musical family, you went to the festival, what type of an experience was that for you, and how did it transform your love of passion of music?
Well, the first time was a bit traumatic. I sang two songs. The first one, I can't remember the second. The first one was Good Morning, Lords and Ladies, It is the 1st of May. And I was all puffed up with pigtails and promptly forgot my words, which of course haunted me the rest of my career. I did win the class anyway, but it was lovely. There were lots of children my age, and the adjudicators were a team in those days from Britain. They came and they went right across Canada. They were here for weeks and weeks and weeks. And my very first adjudication, it was a page absolutely filled with remarks, the good and what you need to work on. So it was quite an educational experience right from day one.
And why do you think the festival is still relevant today as it was when your father first joined, then when you joined to 2022, the 95th anniversary, by the way?
That's right. I mean, some people go to the festival just to see if they win or not, and which is all very well and good. But what is really important is it gives students of any discipline a chance to perform in front of a live audience and to hear from the words of the adjudicator what praising what they're doing well and suggesting things that they don't do so well. And sometimes they're just saying what a teacher has said over and over and over again, but just a different wording, and it hits home. Unfortunately, back in the day, when there was really not much in the way of entertainment, that City Hall was absolutely jammed full for every single session. And there was one lady, she had 3 daughters who were piano students, and she had a certain seat she really liked in the City Hall. So she would sit through her lunch with her knitting to make sure she got that seat. And one of the stars of the festival, there was 400 people came. And so I think it is really relevant, and I do encourage anybody who's studying music to get out there and just kind of get over the jitters and perform in front of an audience.
Right. So then yourself personally, this musical career started, you studied at the University of Toronto.
I had my ARCT from the conservatory before I went to Toronto, but I went to Toronto and studied something just as a fallback in case I didn't make a career of it. And then I went from Toronto to England and Germany, and then sort of the rest is history. But yeah. Mhm.
No, but you spent quite a few years in Germany with
I,
the opera. You're a soprano, correct?
yeah. I was in Germany for 11 years and Britain for 2. So I was away for 13 years in total, and then came back and sang with the Canadian Opera Company for many years. So.
Right. So you've been on stage quite a bit. Have you ever had that moment again where you forgot the words that you did when you were 10?
Well, yeah, yes, I have actually. I got one of my opera, it was a Mozart opera, and I got kind of confused and I got the second verse instead of the third. And the conductor was quite young and quite sort of inexperienced. But I sort of did a lot of sort of cadenzas until I found my way back with the orchestra. But fortunately, when you get to work with languages, you get to know how to cheat in certain languages. So if you don't forget, you can kind of substitute.
Your passion's also been classical, so Mozart. But why that side of the music?
Well, it really speaks to me. I mean, I love classical music, and I love the languages, and I love the poetry. And it's always, I mean, I have done a little bit of, musical theater, but very little. But the classical really just speaks to me.
Lovely. Now you say you're an adjudicator and a clinician. What does that mean in a musical term?
Well, a clinician is sort of if you go to adjudicate a music festival and they want to have a master class, or people come to you and say they would like to work one-on-one. Or I have gone into, for instance, choirs. The choir master will ask me if I would go in and speak to the individual, speak to the people as a whole, just on techniques and things that can improve their singing, whether they be professionals or whether they're singing in the choir. So it's basically just laying out the basics of how to breathe, how to support, and that sort of stuff, and to work on that. Or if people have specific problems that they're having with high notes or something, just to work on that. Because after all these years of experience, and with my own students, I remember things that people told me, coaches or teachers or something, little tricks that one can pass on. So that's what a clinician does.
And the Kiwanis Festival has clearly had very significant musicians that have gone on professionally, but also ones that have gone on where they just still develop a lifelong passion for music. So why is that so important?
I think it's very important because music is kind of a way to get away from the world, and certainly the world is in a dreadful state at the moment. But when you put on music and you listen to it, it kind of uplifts you. And yes, I was hearing a terrible news report coming out of Ukraine, and I put on CBC radio, and they were playing a beautiful Mozart. It was a Mozart symphony. I thought, that is beautiful. That kind of puts all back in perspective. So I think it's important. And also, if you play an instrument or you sing, it's a way of expressing yourself, and it's kind of a release. And I think it's wonderful. And I really encourage people to, take up an instrument or just somehow enjoy the music. And.
And now you're professionally teaching, correct? So what are you teaching?
Well, I'm teaching. I have a couple of students who would like to make it a career, and I also have several adult students who have come to me, probably through the music teachers, the list of music teachers, and they've sung all their lives, but they really just want to do it for pleasure. And I've got sort of working people who come and say, "This is me time. I don't have to think about my job, my family, and my work and all this kind of stuff. I really want to sing for me." And so I help them to do it as well as they can. Others who sing in choral groups or choirs who really have problems with the range or something, and they want to work on that. So I enjoy it very much. And it keeps me working with younger people, which as you age, you find that, your friends are dead or dying or apathetic. And I think that being able to teach and work with younger people, it keeps you stimulated. And that's what I love about it.
Right. And then obviously let's connect back to Stratford and the Kiwanis Festival. Why is it so important for you to be involved now as an adjudicator?
I love to adjudicate, and I've adjudicated all across Canada, and I just love to share my knowledge. And as I say, I think it's really important. And a good adjudicator will have a blend of the things that are good, that are positive about performance, and the things that little performance tricks. And adjudicators who have performed know all the pitfalls and little things that you can pass on to the people that, that maybe go beyond the technical, but just little things that make a performance really come alive. And a lot of it is eye contact with the audience and that ability to stand in front of an audience and convince them, and that you separate yourself as a person from the character that you are portraying. Either whether you're interpreting a poem or interpreting an operatic aria, you are no longer, let's say, Peter Maranger, but you are this particular character, and you have to take on that personality. And so that is what, for singers, is particularly tricky, because
what is an aria?
An aria is like a song, but it's in the opera. So operas are arias. So in other words, you have an opera is made up of arias. Each of the characters has a song of their own, and then you've got ensembles. You've got duets and trios and chorus and all that sort of stuff. The aria is a solo piece, basically.
I like to say the Stratford, the Festival for the Kiwanis is more of an emerging artist, because you have some people that are ridiculously qualified as well. How does that, I guess, when you have someone you're adjudicating, a 10-year-old, where you first started, how difficult is it to do that?
Well, you have to work at their level. You have to. I was adjudicating in St. John's once, a dear little boy singing. It was a Newfoundland folk song class, and they're the audiences that they come all the time. And a little boy sang, and every verse he was so nervous that his arms got higher and higher and higher. By the end, his arms were like, I thought he was going to take off. So you have to kind of address the nerves and sort of say, or just watch that sort of thing. So you have to go down to that level, and you have to learn how to make what you say work for a 10-year-old, or then you're, a teen or a professional or whatever. So you have to gear your remarks to that age group.
So now just you're adjudicating someone who's young that's singing, and voice is only one part of it. It's also about resonating and using lung capacity. How do you actually train when you only have them for that short time period to make sure that they go on to do these items of recommendation?
Well, you just have to make sure that, first of all, that they understand the whole system, the physical system of how you breathe and how you support. And that is not something that happens overnight. So what you probably do is reinforce what their teacher has already said. Now, there are some teachers that I can tell they're not teaching it properly, but you have to be very careful. You can't be too critical. But that process of singing is basically easy if you have the support system set up. But that is something that takes months and years to perfect. And I guess the main thing that you have to understand is that you sing from the middle of your body, from the support muscles down there. And you basically float the voice on the breath. And that is very, very hard to get to. And it's a breakthrough moment. It's a eureka moment when that finally happens. But I mean, I remember when it happened to me, and oh my gosh, that's right, that's easy. So coming to a festival and listening to performing and have an adjudicator come and say, discuss a bit more with your teacher about how you breathe and how you support. That I think is very, very invaluable, because another set of ears hearing what you're doing just reinforces what your teacher has said. And it's important. And especially if you're going to go into the performing arts as a singer, you don't have a microphone. Like, you sing for 3,000 people in an auditorium and there's no mic. So you have to know how to do that.
Well, Barbara, thank you very much for joining me. I think it's been wonderful to get to know you better. Thank you for making music locally, but also that it transcends Stratford globally as well. Barbara, thank you, and everything you're doing for the Kiwanis Festival as well. Thank you.
You're very welcome, Peter. Thank you.
My name is Angela Liang. I will be performing Mazurka in B minor, opus 33, number 4 by Chopin. Since the mazurkas are a traditional Polish folk dance, Chopin must have been thinking about his hometown when he wrote this. When we think of Family Day, we are at home with our families as well. Please enjoy my performance.
Hello, my name is Garrett McKee, and I will be playing Playful Puppy by Anne Crosby Godet. I chose this song because it's like family and pets are very important to people and their families.